So I got 2 outfits, 0 photo editing to correct the color, and no cool background to enhance the fit. I know what you guys are doing out there. So I have 2 outfits right here, the similar idea, right? They have pretty much the same idea, but one of them is inarguably more aesthetically pleasing than the other. And I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to lock in your answer, so just don't tell me yet, just keep that in your head. Now I'm gonna ask the same exact question to a couple of my friends over here that are experts in their own field, so that you can see that we all kind of have something going on in here, and that you can also be validated by an expert. So I'm gonna show you 2 outfits. You're gonna tell me which one of the 2 you think is the most aesthetically pleasing.
I'll take the first one.
The first one, right?
Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you're
First one.
I'm gonna go with number 1.
Number 1, right?
Yeah.
And it's not even close.
The first one, the primera, the first one.
The first one, right?
Yeah.
Now, notice how everybody had the same answer, including you, because we just gravitate towards the thing that we find aesthetically pleasing. But why? But we don't know why. This begs the question. Okay, so what makes something aesthetically pleasing?
I don't know, I think just, I would say a general,
What you want.
Just like things that are like, what's the word? They're not different. Like you kind of like things that are like.
I guess it has to do with, just like.
Nobody knows.
That you.
Except for me. I sat and looked at hundreds of photos of aesthetically pleasing rooms, outfits, street pics, graphic images. I even listened to quote-unquote aesthetically pleasing music just to find a correlation between what is and isn't aesthetically pleasing, so that you can use this information to elevate your aesthetic to be more pleasing to the public eye. And trust me, I went deep, unnecessarily deep. There's an iceberg that I really tried to break through and figure out, but you can call me the Titanic because it broke me. And obviously at the top, at surface level of this iceberg, you just got regular stuff like guessing and checking the vibe, right? You just guess and check visually, build a mood board so you can guess and vibe check all day long to figure out what you find aesthetically pleasing. And what I'm doing this right now is I'm using the sponsor of this video, Karma, to show you that it's really that easy to set your wardrobe up to be aesthetically pleasing. And Karma, formerly known as Shop Tagger, is the best way to save money online shopping. And as you can see right here, I'm using it to build an aesthetically pleasing wardrobe. But also I've been decorating my room finally, and I've been using it to make sure that everything looks aesthetically pleasing before I buy it. And before I even pulled the trigger on this table, I saved 50 bucks because I saved it and then I got an email saying it went on sale. So there you go. It doesn't even have to be for clothes, but if you do want to use it for clothes, I'm gonna show you. All you gotta do is sign up and install it with the link below, and after that, you're gonna get this blue boy whenever you go shopping, and all you gotta do is find an item that you like, which should be pretty easy, and then you click on it. You can save the item for later in a specific size. If you want to get notified when the price changes like I did, you can select which parameter you want. I just select any price change because it's easier, and you'll get notified via email or push notification whenever an item goes on sale, restocks, or even if they find a valid coupon. So you'll just be notified whenever you get a chance to save some money. And also, my favorite feature, you can add it to a specific list, which I'm doing here with the aesthetically pleasing for research list. This is research. Aesthetically pleasing as a concept is just a big psyop. And on checkout, you can use the coupon checker to find coupons you didn't even know existed, which you should just be doing anytime. It's free. This feature is only available on the computer right now, but also you can get more money back with Karma Cash on partnered websites. Just sent straight to your PayPal after a period of time. It's just more free money. So go get Karma now. Everything's in the description. Go sign up and then install the Chrome extension like I'm doing, and bam, you'll be saving money in no time. And also you can build aesthetically pleasing mood boards like I do so you can save your wardrobe some trouble. Okay, so if you want to know my findings and my hypothesis on what's aesthetically pleasing after losing my mind, okay? I have a smooth brain right now because of this. But the main thing I found out across all mediums of creative media is that aesthetically pleasing things are easy to digest. Okay, I know this seems lame and dull and just as vague as aesthetically pleasing itself, but it's cool. We have a lead now. We have an answer to dig into. Now, what makes something easy to digest? It's a simple answer, really. It comes down to these three factors mainly: tone, composition, and balance. For tone, I'm talking smooth, relaxing, light colors like pastels, muted tones, monochromacy. For composition, I'm talking symmetry, rule of thirds, easy focal points, ratio, just positioning that gets across the point of the piece quick so that your eyes and brain have to do less work. And balance is the harmony of the concept, whether it be fits, interior design, graphic design, photos. These all play the same factors. Basically, whatever your brain can look at, identify the point of, and digest easy and just feel good about, it just puts that as aesthetically pleasing because it didn't have to do too much work and you get a lot of satisfaction. But that's so boring. That answer left me so displeased and unsatisfied. Like, I could go ahead and tell you to buy mauve sweaters all day long, but that wouldn't push anything. That would just push sales for Zara. So for the culture, I dug deeper. It would be redundant to use visual examples again because I feel like you get the gist at this point. Calm colors, composition, great. It's all so much fun. Go to a thrift store with a tape measure, a protractor, and a color wheel and have a field day. So we're about to get kind of weird. I know not everybody is synesthetic, but today you are. We're gonna be crossing creative mediums from visuals into sound. We're gonna be comparing clothes to music. So what do aesthetically pleasing outfits have anything to do with aesthetically pleasing songs? Again, not everyone's synesthetic, but everybody can catch a vibe. Yes, correct. Vibe. Now, what does this mean? What does vibe mean? Nope, put that dictionary away and call me Errolson because I worked hours on this acronym. The V stands for volume, the I stands for instrument/key, the B stands for bias, and the E stands for equalization. Now let me explain what these mean. The volume is the volume of each sound in the song, instrument and key selection is the backbone, bias is for the artist's touch, and equalization is for the harmony of everything together. Like I said, in aesthetically pleasing visuals, harmony matters a lot, and you gotta make sure the frequencies mix well in music too. Now, what does this have to do with clothes? I know. Today, volume will mean the color and proportion control of your outfit. This makes sense. The volume fader goes up, and so do the proportions of your outfits. The volume knob turns, and so does the saturation of the colors. The instrument and key selection is parallel to textures, fabrics, graphics, and just overall piece selection. This just makes sense. Soft synths can be compared to soft fabrics, and transient perks can be compared to sharp, hard jewelry. Bias will be your personal taste on the concept. This makes sense. It's your own spin on the vision. And equalization is how the fit works in harmony with itself in the mirror, in practice, just like how a song sounds when it's being played out loud. You gonna learn today, boy. Now that we have an understanding of the vibe acronym, let me break it down so that this makes sense and so that you can use it. We're gonna start first with the I instead of the V because I feel like instrument and piece selection is a good foundation. Like a song, this needs to be thought through with a big picture in mind. Like, your drums need to match your melodic stuff or else there can be some discourse. Like, your pants need to match your shoes or there can be some discourse. Slim and tapered always looks snug and satisfying, a very tight mix. Loose and flowy and chonky can be very comfy and relaxing. It's easier to make things aesthetically pleasing if they all complement each other. I'm gonna blow your mind. You see this everywhere. A boxy sweater, some smooth trousers, and some contrasting silver. It's a great dynamic in terms of piece selection. You hear this song everywhere. A boxy kick, a smooth gliding 808, and some contrasting sharp perks. Great dynamic in terms of instrument selection. I bet you see this outfit as much as you hear a drill beat nowadays. It's stupid. You see some long trousers the same way you hear the 808 go brr. Moving on to volume. This should be simple. Loud and abrasive tracks give off the same vibe as maximalist fits. But for aesthetically pleasing lo-fi tracks, the paralleled fit is also just as turned down. Just calm, smooth, and relaxing. It's the same way with the color selection and proportioning. Muted and underpronounced colors are just as satisfying to the eye as tame and spacey chords. The warm, satisfying bass line on some of these lo-fi tracks can be juxtaposed with an oversized but tame proportioning on some of these aesthetically pleasing fits. Occasional hits of color can be compared to the occasional melodic pluck in some of these songs, whether it be a guitar or a synth. It's like sprinkles on an ice cream. It's aesthetically pleasing. But the point I'm trying to make is the levels of color and proportioning on an outfit can lead to a very pleasing viewing experience, the same way the tame, warm levels on a lo-fi track could be the reason it's a pleasing listening experience. Satisfaction is packaged the same ways visually and sonically in terms of intensity. Moving on to the next bit, which is bias. This isn't as clear-cut as the rest, as it's all subjective, but Zayn made a really good point here in the definition of aesthetically pleasing.
A very loaded answer would be aesthetically pleasing is something that makes you feel good. But then again, what makes you feel good?
Now, what makes you feel good is entirely up to you. Why do people like strawberry more than orange? You can't measure that. I personally like rough and weathered textures more than smooth ones, as you can see in this outfit, the same way that I like distorted textures on a song. Like, I would rather have a dirtier, grittier kick as opposed to a very clean and smooth one. It's all bias. This is your chance to add a spin on what you find aesthetically pleasing, whether it be nails, your hair, tattoos, piercings, cuffs, accents, folds. Honestly, whatever you want. It's the same way a lot of people add vinyl crackle onto a song just for the vibe, or the same way that it's not a Travis Scott song unless you got ad-libs that are coming from the top of the Sistine Chapel. This is all artist choice. Luca's rings, Wisdom's shades, Virgil's quotation marks. Bias really moves through the entire concept, but this is kind of like the artist's signature on something. And it's your chance to make adjustments to make the fit more comfortable to you and to add something new to the table that no one's done. Now we get into the main culprit of satisfaction, equalization. This is the reason music's satisfying. This is the reason photos are satisfying. This is the reason interior design's satisfying. This is the reason graphic design's satisfying. This will be the reason your outfits are satisfying. This is harmony. This is what makes everything you learn from the past 3 points actually work in practice. You can have a cool, killer outfit in your head down to the jewelry and how you're gonna feel in it. And then you put it on in the mirror and you realize, damn, I'm flaccid, I'm soft. This is not hard at all. What are we equalizing? What is composition? What are ratios? Why is color theory the way it is? Why are some chords satisfying? What does it mean to be in key? What's going on with the sound waves? I had to take it one deeper, and honestly, you're gonna hate it. But I'm gonna tell you anyways. Your brain is doing math. Your brain, whenever it looks at something or listens to something, it's doing quick subconscious math. And if all the variables line up to be symmetrical in nature, your brain recognizes that as satisfying. Symmetry in graphic composition, symmetry in photography. Color theory is your brain doing math with the information your eyes are translating, and it has to do with the position of the colors in the color spectrum. With music, everything is a bunch of sound waves that just repeat themselves in the air. The measurement that your brain is using for this is called hertz. This is what pitch is. Whether it be on the low end that your brain can recognize, like 40 hertz, some of you on laptop speakers might not even be hearing this, up to the human voice level around 1,000 to 2.5 thousand hertz, up to the higher, airier stuff around 10,000 to 18,000 hertz. This is all information that your brain is using to do math to find something sonically satisfying. Your brain is a nerd, you're a nerd, ratio L, hold this L nerd. There's a reason you have no music theory knowledge, but you know that this vocal just does not match with this instrumental. Your brain's doing math. Your brain's doing math right now. There's a reason you find this chord way more satisfying than this stupid chord. Your brain's doing math. You're a nerd. Your brain's doing math. But now, Christian, what does all this information have to do with clothes? Nothing. It has nothing to do with clothes. This part has nothing to do with clothes. I just wanted to show you how deep aesthetically pleasing goes. And it turns out you're all a bunch of nerds. No, but really, the reason these pants clash with these shoes in your fit is actually math. You change one thing and the whole thing harmonizes with itself, and it's nice, the chord plays, and it's beautiful again. But just like in sound, the equalization of outfits comes with experience and time. Not saying you have to practice making fits in the mirror the same way you practice playing a piano, but all I'm saying is it kind of is the same thing. You can if you want. Sometimes I do it, but honestly, knowing what goes with and doesn't go with each other in your closet helps so much when trying to come up with an outfit that will bang in practice, okay? It's all useful information at the end. Yo, it's been a minute since I've done one of these, and the OGs know. But to wrap up everything, it just all matters what's easy on the eyes or what's easy on your ears. Aesthetically pleasing comes down to what's easy. Smooth colors, textures, composition, all harmonizing together. The overall takeaway from this video is that aesthetically pleasing comes down to a math, and you can go down there and try and figure things out on the granular level, but what is really paramount is just creating a vibe. And I feel like I've given a lot of information in this video so that you can go create your own vibe. You're welcome. Thank you for watching the video I'm streaming. Go watch me on Twitch, Vans at the Met Gala. I'm in the description. Invest early in joining my journey in making live fashion the next great big live format. And thank you to Karma for funding this research and being a big friend of the channel for over 3 years now. You can go sign up and install the Karma Chrome extension in the description now and save some money. And the term aesthetically pleasing was a Harvard social study. So thank you for taking part. Also, me and Karma are doing a giveaway where all you have to do is sign up and install it, make a holiday shopping list, save one item to it, and then bam, that's it. That's all you gotta do. The email you signed up with for the account will be entered to win a pair of Dunks or a Yeezy Gap hoodie. It's your choice. I don't care. Whatever you want to win, just whatever's more aesthetically pleasing to you. Anyway, someone win this thing and just like tell me how the Yeezy Gap hoodie fits because I want to get one.